I did.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Founders Cup 2014 OSC versus Shockwave, the finals. Here's the first pitch. And it is a called ball by Andy Bueller. I apologize for the late start. Usually I've got a little bit of wind-up before the game starts, but wasn't expecting the game to start this fast. So we'll be peppering in some information as the game goes. Here's the pitch from Tremaine. Called ball on the outside. Home plate ump Andy Bueller, best ump on the West Coast. Frequent face at Founders Cup and at often West Coast circuit tournaments. Here's pitch 3 from Tremaine. Called strike on Kyle Tyson for OSC, leading off today. He has been pitching for them over the course of the day. Perhaps he shall be pitching some more. We are not entirely sure. Here's the pitch. Called strike, catch in the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes, no fouls. And Tyson has to be looking into perhaps taking some fouls. No, he likes the beautiful bunt. Up the third base line, it is safe, it lands. He does not turn to go to 2. They let it go. Shockwave thought the ball was going foul. It landed fair, rolled fair, did not cross out. Top of the first inning. OSC has a runner on first. Here's Tremaine with the pitch for number 2. OSC's number 2 kicker at the plate. Here's the pitch from Tremaine. Shin punt into the sidelines, almost knocking a poor fellow down. Got a hold of way more of that ball than he wanted to, but that's okay. Somebody wants to bum a smoke while I'm doing the commentary. Ladies and gentlemen, please meet Tyler Granlund, captain of Sofa King, good for the tournament this weekend. Just lost in the semifinals to OSC in a rip snorter. I believe it was a double overtime game. Hell of a game. Here's the pitch from Tremaine, and it's up 1, picked up, fired to 1. Called out at 1, and the runner Tyson does not make the attempt for third. 1 out, runner on second. Top of the first inning. Shockwave on defense. OSC up. Number 3 kicker up for OSC. I believe it's Bill. Could be wrong. Here comes the pitch from Tremaine. A little pop-up bunt. Not caught by Jay. Not caught. Not caught. Kyle goes back, not knowing if it was caught or not. Catcher for Shockwave, JJ, not able to get his hands completely around the ball. There was contact with the ground. Andy Bueller calls it a landed ball. We have runners on first and second, 1 out, top of the first inning. Good Lord, this is a frantic game already. It's barely started and stuff's happening. What happened to slow rolling a game? Shockwave doing a little bit of an outfield shuffle around, moving positions players. They now brought in one of their ladies to play first base, giving themselves a 4th gentleman in the outfield. Expecting a possible kick away. Oh, of course, it's Pat O'Brien for OSC with a notably wicked kick away. And with the danger of Kyle Tyson on second base, you do want the arms in the outfield to fire the ball back in. An odd look from Tremaine, not his usual pitch, a little bit of a hook pitch, couple of bounces, came in for a strike, but certainly not what you expect to see, generally speaking, from Tremaine on the mound. Here's the pitch. Pat bunts up 1. They look, they fire to 1, get the out at 1, 2 outs. He did succeed in advancing the runners to 2 and 3, but now there are 2 outs. Up comes Brent Morrison. 5 kicker for OSC. There is an open base at first, but they cannot simply walk him due to the fact that there is a, well, Walker doesn't like walking people, so they walk on 4 straight balls is 2 bases, thus just choosing to, and fired shot to right field and picked up by the gentleman out in right field. So Shockwave gets out of the top of the first inning. OSC gets a couple of runners on, moves them around, gets them into scoring position, does not score. And now OSC takes the field for Shockwave to come up on offense. Just for a little bit of information on how we got here to the 9 o'clock game in Las Vegas on this lovely October evening. Shockwave went through, I believe they beat ODB in the semifinals. They took out Los Bro Crew in the round of 8, and I don't remember who they beat before that, but both teams have certainly had a very strong run marching forward to this spot. OSC, as I mentioned, did play Sofa King to 2 innings of overtime in the semifinal game, and OSC finally got it out. Before that, I believe OSC beat Relax and Let It Happen. Leading us to this game here, Kyle Tyson pitching at the first pitch to Tremaine. Tremaine lets the strike go by, catches the inside corner. Second pitch from Kyle. Popped up onto the foul lines. Again, quite possibly murdering one of the people on the sidelines. Balls are coming hard off the feet tonight. I don't know if that's a factor of a hard inflated ball or if it's the fact that people playing in the championship game have that strong of legs. Tremaine lets a ball go on the inside. I believe the count is 1-1-1. And here comes the next pitch from Tyson. Foul ball came in late. The ball rolled in late, so it was called foul. It did cross into fair eventually, but not until after it had left the kicker's box. For those who are paying attention, British from Arizona, people are coming up and talking to me while I'm doing the commentary for the game on the live stream. Currently the score is tied 0-0. We're in the bottom of the first inning. There you go.
Good job, Patty. And here's something.
Thank you very much. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 fouls. To Tremaine. And here comes Tyson with the pitch. Tremaine laying down a bunt, firing. Pat again, and called out at first. Tremaine does not like the call, but does not seem to be getting too fiery about that. Perhaps he was just reacting to an extraordinarily close and tight play. Look, I tell you folks, if I can't see it from where I'm standing, you're not going to see it better on this small screen, so who knows. Hell of a close play called out. Number 2 kicker, I believe, JJ. Shockwave's catcher. Up to kick, takes a called strike. And here comes Tyson with the pitch. JJ lets another strike go by. Hell of a play by Patty O'Brien, OSC's crasher, to beat, well, Mach 3, Tremaine, an extraordinarily fast player. JJ bails out of a inside, possibly 1 bounce pitch, so we've got 1 ball and 2 strikes against the number 2 kicker, JJ for Shockwave. Pitch from Kyle. Bunt up 1, rolls foul. Certainly had the distance, caught everybody off guard. Had the ball not rolled foul, he would have been on base unchallenged. I do not believe there even would have been a play. So I believe 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 foul. Possibly, no, I'm sorry, 2 fouls. 1-2-1, yep, 1 foul. 2 strikes and a ball. Pitch from Tyson. Lays down. Ball gets caught up under JJ's foot. Does not leave the box. Foul ball. 1-2-2. In the bottom of the first inning. Still no score. Comes the pitch from Tyson. Bunt. Shot over. And Tyson. Wonderful lateral play off the mound from Kyle Tyson to catch the ball and flips it to the first baseman, Brent Morrison, anyway, because, well, why the hell not?
Way to get off that mound!
Tyson may be confused, not realizing that that does not count for 2 outs, but only 1. It often happens with the pretty ones. They're not that bright, and Kyle Tyson certainly is pretty. Here's the pitch to the number 3 kicker. Question about where catcher is lining up. First pitch to the number 3 kicker for Shockwave is a ball. Here's Tyson with the pitch.
Ball! Dude, I love this ball. Hey, that's close, Kyle. Looks pretty good.
2 balls pitched, just dancing on the outside of the zone.
Ball! Hey, Kyle, get it close.
1 bounce. Tyson takes a moment to reset his head after running across the field to make a catch. 3 balls, pitch.
Run! Foul ball, sorry, foul ball.
Foul ball to the right side.
Just like that, just like that. Go after.
3 balls, no strikes, 1 foul. Number 3 kicker for Shockwave, who have not seen a base running yet today.
Foul ball, foul ball, foul ball.
Foul ball bunt off to the left side this time. Does get caught up under the catcher's feet, but still a foul ball deep in the box. No risk of going fair.
Yeah, I'll fuck her in
Tyson
the
with the
pussy.
pitch. And, ladies and gentlemen, that's Alex Rio right there, being extraordinarily inappropriate for a family podcast for a family game, because we know this is a family game, as is evidenced by most of the people who are half naked and drinking a great deal.
Live streaming or
I will admit that I've lost track of what the count is. Oh, 2 outs, 0-0-0. 4 kicker for Shockwave coming up to the plate. Thank you. Yes. Troy being a smartass, I'm on the sideline telling me everything I don't know. Look, folks, I'm a West Coast fellow. Popped up to Tyson. 3 outs, 1 runner.
Hi, Ryan.
Alex Rio saying hi to people potentially watching the live stream on the East Coast. It should be noted that both teams are East Coast teams. One, I believe, out of DC, one out of Maryland. Gabby, where are these teams from? DC and Maryland. Do I have that right, or is it Maryland and Maryland? Maryland and Virginia?
DC and Maryland.
You know what? Everything on the East Coast looks the same to me. I'm from the West Coast. I don't know where the states are, and I will admit that I do not know most of these players' names. So if I screw anything up, I deeply apologize, but nobody handed me a lineup card before the game. I'm playing this one by ear. Pardon me?
Ever.
If that's ever. Okay, I get word. And more people are talking to me. Both from Maryland. Both from Maryland. So why didn't we just have this tournament in Maryland? If both teams are from Maryland, why didn't we just stay in Maryland? Seriously, they fly all the way across the country just to play each other? This is worse than the non-regional protectionism we get with California teams. All right, top of the 2nd inning.
Here we go.
Tremaine on the mound, having thrown the pitch. Lead off ground, worm burner. They're going to make the play, and not enough to get there. Solid play, but just not quite enough. Shockwave seeming to assume that Shockwave making the assumption that there's well, not exactly sure what Shockwave's defensive setup is, but yeah, worked in the 1st inning. The leadoff runner did get on with a worm burner grounder to the shortstop area, so we got 1 runner on, no outs. Shockwave has now adjusted back up. Couple ladies in the outfield, gentleman on first. Bunt!
Are you kidding?
Pop-up, diving catch, not called a catch. Now Bueller's going to meet with his field umps to try and confirm if it was a catch or if it did indeed hit ground. Both field umps also say it hit the ground, was not a catch. Runners on 1st and 2nd, no outs. That one will be a fun one to watch on the replay in slow motion if anybody would actually shoot in slow motion. Runners on 1st and 2nd, no outs. Top of the 2nd inning. OSC putting some pressure on Shockwave's defense. Here's the pitch from Tremaine. Just outside. Called ball. 2nd pitch comes in. It's also a ball outside, possibly 1 bounce. 2-0-0. And here's the 3rd pitch. Strike cross. For those of our 365 friends who are watching, as a reminder, Walker Rules plays with 4 fouls to an out, not 3. So you will occasionally see the defensive intentional foul with multiple strikes. But in this case, kicker has 3 balls, 1 strike, no fouls. 2nd strike called. 3 balls, 2 strikes. This would be a prime case for one of those intentional fouls that I was talking about, as Walker allows for 4. Would not call that an intentional foul, but not a bad one by any means. Fouls out on the right-hand side, looking to go up 1, which is certainly not a bad decision when you have runners on 1st and 2nd, no outs. That's right. I've read some strategy on the internet on how to play kickball. Here comes the pitch. Popped up the middle, fired to 3rd, got the lead runner out. Gonna call that a misexecution by OSC's kicker, which does happen. Clearly his target was up 1st, but he missed it, put it on the left-hand side. They were able to get the lead runner out at 3rd. And we got 1 out, still runners on 1st and 2nd for OSC, top of the 2nd inning. Tremaine doing a bit of checking with the rest of his fielders, perhaps doing a bit of an audible shuffle as to where players are playing. Certainly a common thing with circuit teams playing in WACA tournaments. Having an extra player certainly gives you more options in shifting players around. Here's the pitch. Foul ball up the first base side. Probably a foot or two foul. Not horrendously foul, but certainly not in. OSC runner walking back to second base, possibly trying to slow down the pace of the game a bit, which is fine by me because, Jesus Christ, so many things have happened so far in this game. I'm exhausted, and we're only in the second inning. Decent bunt up one, picked up by JJ, caught out at one, flipped, fired back, good relay. Tremaine making a statement throw to his crasher who is standing at third base, daring the runner to do anything. 2 outs, runners on second and third. P. Dunk up to kick, I believe. That's right. Remember, no intentional walks here, as we talked about. Although I do not know that we expect to see many intentional walks with these teams. Both squads have enough confidence in their defense that I would be surprised if we saw any intentional walks in this game. So we know for Founders Cup rules, any walk on 4 balls with no strikes and no fouls is automatically second. And oh my God! See, this is why we love kickball, because I just made a call that we were not going to see any intentional walks in this game, and now we're seeing an intentional walk.
Here we go.
Tremaine does have a foul, and encroachment is called. The ball is over the head. For those who are watching with a bit of confusion, 4 straight balls gives you second base. 4 balls with no strikes and no fouls in walk-it tournaments. They do try to avoid the intentional walk. So after getting a strike or a foul, now they throw garbage pitches because the pitches are required to be thrown. You can't just get a strike or a foul on someone and tell them take the base. You still have to throw the pitches. And I guess not dissimilar to baseball.
Ball free.
And just usually seems to slow everything down. But this is part of the strategy. I do appreciate the fact that I said no intentional walks in this game. And here they are. Tremaine throws the ball all the way over into the fun games on the other side of Desert Breeze Park. Andy Bueller trying to maintain some semblance of control by yelling ball when it clearly was a touchdown pass.
No, he played quarterback. He doesn't throw touchdown passes.
Bases are now loaded. I have lost track of how many outs there are because this game started 3 hours ago. Bueller doing a quick check of the number of players in the field. Bases loaded. Here, and everybody keeps pausing. Shockwave still shuffling around trying to figure out exactly what it is that they want to do with their defense. Seem to be satisfied with it. Tremaine throws a strike, catching the outside corner. Mattis approves. 1 bounce. DeMattis playing backstop for Shockwave as a courtesy to save his catcher's arm. 2 balls, 1 strike. Tremaine seems to be doing something of a hurry-up throw right now with this pitch. See if we can get one in. Does get one crossing into the zone, fouled off to the right-hand side. 2 balls, a strike and a foul. In this top of second inning. Swing away kick to the right-hand side. Getting into the gallery. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 fouls.
2-1-2.
Bueller holding up the game so that P. Dunk can get back to first base. Base is still loaded. Here's the pitch. Ball high and just a tad outside. 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 fouls.
3-1-2.
Here comes the pitch from Tremaine. Catches the inside corner, left side. And we now have 2 strikes, 2 fouls. And kicked away, popped up. A little bit of traffic. Caught for the 3rd out. Going into the bottom of the second inning, still no score. OSC certainly threatened a little bit more with a few more base runners. And we're at generally the commercial break side of Kickball Livestream. I've got Rio on one side talking about how much he loves New York City. I've got Demanis on my other side talking about how much he wants to give me a kiss on the cheek.
And want to say how much I love Marlene and Hunter.
Yes, Marlene and Hunter, who hopefully are watching the game.
This is the live stream right here.
I'm sure they could hear it if they're watching it. All right. Bottom of the second inning.
Let's go,
Kyle Tyson up on the mound. A little bit of a shuffle of home plate, making sure it's in place because these things aren't glued to the ground. They're made of rubber and fly all over the place.
Start us off, Chuck. What do you say, baby?
Here comes the pitch. Called strike across the center of the plate. Free first pitch strike. And here comes Tyson. Pitch number 2. Just outside, or perhaps a little bit more than outside. You know what? I have no idea how much outside it was. I'm not the damn ump. That's Bueller's job. Bueller says it was very, very slightly outside. It's a ball on a 1 bounce. 2 balls, 1 strike, no fouls. And I believe this is Shockwave's 5, possibly 6 kicker. 5 kicker. And beat the throw out. Patty O'Brien coming across on a good cross-field pattern, picks it up, underhands it to first base, does not quite get there in time. Runner on first, no outs, bottom of the second. Shockwave looking to put similar pressure, if not more, on OSC that they faced at the top of the second inning. The pitch. Strike took a little bit of a hop at the end, but still low enough to come into the zone. A little bit of shuffling and adjusting on OSC's part now. Good bunt. Patio makes the fire. Late again. And does not make the throw. Morrison wisely runs the runner back to second base. Does not release the ball, letting it out. Patio having a tough time standing up. Not sure if he's hanging his head for the misplay or if he's starting to feel the length of the day, which started for some of these teams at 9 a.m., which is very, very early on a Saturday morning after a Friday night in Las Vegas. Patio's currently in the mirror crash position, playing the line on the first base side. Tyson pitches a called strike. Shockwave going with a very strong front line. Got P-Dunk on third, regular crasher, pitcher mirror crasher. Second pitch in for a ball. We got 1 strike, 1 ball, no outs. Runners on first and second. Shockwave looking to cause a bit of damage and perhaps even score the first run of this championship game. For those keeping track at home, I believe this is Founders Cup 17, but it's entirely possible I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I apologize. If I'm right, screw you, I'm very smart. 1 bounce. Some question about that. Both Kyle and OSC's catcher have a bit of a question about that. Here comes the pitch. Punt pop-up 1. And traffic problems. Little pop-up bunt in the middle of a dead zone. Patio is the mirror crash, Kyle as the pitcher, and OSC's catcher all converging on the ball. Get confused, nobody picks it up. Giving a free base. Now bases are loaded, no outs. At this point, Shockwave just has to be wanting to put the ball into the outfield somewhere to plate a run. Hopefully far enough out. Played a couple more. 1 bounce. Second bounce on the plate. As is evidenced by the sound it made as it slapped the plate. As has been pointed out to me by a resident meteorologist and annoying co-commentator, Rio, wind has picked up a little bit, but from where I stand, I cannot tell you which direction it's blowing. So I have no idea if that's an advantage. Long shot to right center field. Oh, missed! The wind velocity did cause a problem. They make the out at second, and here comes... So apparently the wind velocity was a factor. Right center thought he had the ball, but the wind held it up a little bit. It drops in front of him. They were able to make the out at second. However, the runners on second and third crossed the plate for Shockwave. 2 runs plated, runner on second, 1 out.
And actually, like, usually it comes.
We just did the grass test here at the field, and the wind is pushing in from the outfield. Right in my face right now, drying out my eyeballs. If anybody has any saline solution, please bring it to me. Home plate ump needs it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, as a pro tip, if home plate ump needs saline solution because his eyes are drying out because he can't see, that's problematic for a fair called ball game.
Nope. Out of nowhere.
That being said, I am merely giving Andy Bueller a hard time. As I mentioned at the top of this game, perhaps the best ump we have on the West Coast. And called ball.
Hey, what do you say, Kyle?
Called strike.
Right here.
Sorry, I've lost track of what's paying attention, what with the wind, and a bit of excitement in the game with OSC giving up 2 runs to Shockwave.
And they actually got it.
With a bases loaded 0 out kick away. An out with a runner on the base path, but not before 2 runs scored, and the kicker got to second base. Beautiful bunt up 3, and it just rolls out partway up. Started in, snuck out, foul ball.
Agreed, you can't win. But still,
I don't know if we're... I believe the game started about 10 after 9, so we're 15-20 minutes into the game. Still only the bottom of the second inning. Ball slips out of Kyle's hands on that pitch, comes in as a 1 bounce, possibly a no bounce. Trying to reset and catch his rhythm. Outside 1 bounce. Gus having a bit of trouble with his mechanics in getting the pitch. There's a solid pitch, popped over to the right-hand side, thrown out at first, advances the runner to third base. So now we've got 2 outs, runner on third base, and coming up is one of my favorite people in the world, I believe, Johnny DeMatteis. I adore him. Johnny DeMatteis, a key kicker for the Best of the West Championship game for Shockwave.
Here we go.
Going to be looking to make this ball land somewhere, allowing his... Oh, pops it over to the left-hand side. Pat O'Brien running out, diving catch, gets his fingers on the ball in foul territory while in the air, rolls down, takes the ball in for the out. One hell of a play by Pat O'Brien. That's good people right there. That's good people. Hell of a play by Pat O'Brien. Coming now into the top of the 3rd inning at the Founders Cup 2014 championship match between Shockwave and OSC. And now we've got people in the background chanting for the home plate ump. Some people chant for one team, some people chant for the other team, some people chant for Miller High Life or perhaps a nice cold Coors. Here they chant for the ump. This is Las Vegas, people. It's a strange place. Just close. 1 bounce comes in to, I believe this is Troy. Is this Troy? Yes. Another 1 bounce into Troy, who's sporting a lovely haircut and a very good looking beard. I've got Boslaw behind me, who's apparently not handing me a beer. Boslaw coming to get a lighter and ask for a beer. I do have to ask, do Vin Scully and Harry Carey and those folks have to deal with this? People coming up and asking them for lighters or beers or dancing in front of the cameras. It's a difficult life being a sports commentator for kickball, as is there, due to the fact that there are only 2 of us, me and Shane Dizon. Shane could not be here this weekend, sadly. We did see him on the podcast earlier in this week, making some pretty good predictions about the tournament. And a beautiful bunt by Troy. back of the box, freezing the catcher out. JJ not able to get a good jump on the ball to make the play. Troy pushes it in through just into fair territory and beats out the throw. Hell of a play, hell of a bunt. One runner on. First pitch from Tremaine's ball. Second pitch, cut to the inside, is a ball. 2 balls, no strikes, no fouls. Here's the pitch. Lays down also a very well-placed bunt, fires to first, gets the out. Advancing Troy to second base. I believe that is the first out. First out, Bueller?
Correct.
That is the first out of the inning.
Thank you.
Somebody find Timmy. Yeah, we need Timmy. Broadcast interrupted. So those who are watching the live stream, thank you. Currently cannot see it, and we're not exactly sure what's happening. The live stream is currently suspended. However, we've got 2 cameras recording, so the part where there was the cliffhanger in the middle of the game that you guys were watching live, now you are seeing on the recorded version 4 days later. I believe we've got 1 out. OSC has a runner on. Beautiful bunt. Thrown out. Troy advances to 3. 2 outs. Runner on third. We are in the top of the 3rd inning. And OSC getting together for a huddle. Hope they're talking. Wouldn't it be awesome if they were talking about something other than kickball? Just once, it'd be awesome if there was a huddle in kickball where they weren't talking about kickball. For those paying attention, that's actually a reference to the movie Bull Durham, where they talk about what to get the people for the wedding. Robert Wuhl's great line, well, candles are always a nice gift. Here's the pitch, called strike. 2 outs, runner on third. Here's the pitch. Second strike across the plate. 2 strikes, no balls, no fouls. 1 bounce. It's one of the cases where you see Tremaine as a very heady pitcher. Getting 2 strikes on someone will throw them a little different look. Doesn't exactly work well with OSC because their players are experienced and are know to watch for that sort of thing, know when to lay off of a 1 bounce pitch. It appears as if the live stream is back, so we apologize if you missed anything. We are still in the top of the 3rd inning. 2 outs, runner on third. OSC up to kick. Tremaine fields the ball, fires to first. 3rd out. OSC does not play to run. Going into the bottom of the 3rd inning, Shockwave up by 2. Shockwave 2, OSC 0. OSC chose to be the visitor team, so they kick first, which means Shockwave gets to end the innings on offense. Mid-inning Bueller chant for our home plate ump, Andy Bueller. Bottom of the 3rd, no outs, nobody on, no count to the kicker. Bit of shuffling around in the infield. Everybody seems satisfied. Here comes the pitch from Kyle Tyson. Catches a strike on the inside corner. Kyle's mechanics certainly seem to be working much better. Had a little bit of difficulty last inning, but seems to have gotten past that and is throwing rather well. Ball called outside. Perhaps 1 bounce. Either way, was not a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, no fouls. Here comes the pitch. Fouled off to the right-hand side up the first base line. I don't know if that was an intentional foul or a bit of a late foot on the ball. Bunt up 1. Kyle picks it up, dishes it to Morrison on first. 1 out.
There you go, defense. There you go, defense.
For those of you who had some concern earlier, yes, we are in the 3rd inning, and I did finally get my beer. So, if this game continues to be boring with people just getting outs and not scoring any more runs, chances are the broadcast will be more interesting, as I'm likely getting a bit saucier. Bueller calls a one bounce ball. Well, clearly the beer is working. I have lost track of the count. I do know there is one out. 1-on-1 with one out. Here comes the pitch from Tyson. Bunt pop up. Tyson picks it up, fires it to first to Morrison. Second out.
Good call, Andy. Good call, Bueller. Let's go, Bueller. You say Smalls.
2 outs. Bottom of the third inning.
You say Smiley.
Do need to be aware for those who are also used to 365 championship games as opposed to Waka. Waka only plays 5 innings for championship games, as well as elimination. Well, all games for Waka at Founders Cup are 5 innings, unless, of course, the tie merits overtime, which means not as much time to make something happen, cycle through the lineup, arguably making every inning count even more. Kick away to the right-hand side. Morrison on first base takes a couple steps, thinking he might dive into the gallery to get it, but then realizes, screw it, it's not worth it. It's probably a wise call, considering there's a bunch of people who look drunk, and 2 of them look homeless, so I wouldn't want to go in there either. Here's the pitch. Kick away, straight to Tyson. 3 outs, going into the top of the 4th inning. I love your commentary. Should note that this is one of the more technologically covered Founders Cups of all time. In addition to the live stream, we also have 2 GoPros on my side of the plate. Somebody's got a Canon HDV camera right next to me picking it up. On top of his Canon HDV, he's got another GoPro recording. And on the other side, I do see one more beefier camera recording the game. So if there are, well, I suppose redundancy is a good thing. If any of these cameras fail, is somebody going to get this game on tape? Called strike. Hey, we appeared to have cycled for OSC. Kyle Tyson is up to kick. He was their leadoff in the top of the 1st inning, and now in the top of the 4th inning, he is up to kick again. Strike. Jermaine doing a bit of a power overthrow on that pitch. 1 bounce. But he made it curve in the air, which is disconcerting that people can do that with a kickball while pitching underhand. Picked up. JJ.
Yeah, JJ!
Pulled. Out. Great play by Shockwave's catcher, JJ, picking up the ball, firing into first base. Very bang-bang play. But first base ump calls it out. I don't know if any of these cameras can actually see first base, so you'll just have to take my word for it when I tell you what happens at first base if you can't see it. Could also be some people in the way because the crowd lines, well, the crowd lines tend to be working for the crowd, but some players tend to be leaking a little bit as well. Number 2 kicker up for OSC in the top of the 4th inning. Here comes the pitch from Tremaine. Nice little bunt, picked up, fired to 1, and not there in time. It's a hell of a bunt, hell of a play. Everything was very fast. I want somebody to clock that play and tell me how much time progressed from foot on the ball to foot on bag. Because I tell you, that's a really, really fast play for somebody who's old and fat like me. OSC's 3 kicker, Bill. Up to kick, takes 1 bounce. 1 out, runner on first. Here comes the pitch from Tremaine. Cuts outside a little bit too hard, called ball. Pitch from Tremaine again. Again, cutting just outside. Bueller indicates how close it is, which is very, very close. Tremaine opts for a straight ball. Bill takes a swing at it. It's a nice bunt, but just pushed foul. 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 foul. Here comes the pitch from Tremaine. Bill, OSC.
Oh yeah, JJ. Way to go, JJ.
Picked up by JJ, fired to 1. And here comes another Patty in the kickball world, Pat O'Brien, 4 kicker for OSC.
Hey, good kicker!
Runner on second.
Ball!
Tremaine's first pitch is a ball to Pat O'Brien. Strong kick to right field. People working back, and ball is caught. We do talk an awful lot about Shockwave's speed, both on the base path, at the plate, and in the infield. The one thing to remember is that causes a great deal of difficulty in the outfield when trying to kick away. Damn near every player on Shockwave is speedy as hell, and that means when the balls are kicked to the outfield, really takes away your targets and your holes. Because somebody's going to get to that ball. Somebody's going to make a play on that ball. A couple of deep, strong kicks to right field by OSC, and where they were both caught. Currently, we are now in the bottom of the 4th inning. Shockwave up 2. OSC with no runs. Kyle Tyson pitching in ball. Couldn't tell you what the count is beyond 1 ball, but here comes the pitch from Kyle. Bunt straight at the middle. Play made to first. Just barely got him out.
Hey, do it
Beat him
all
by about half a
yourself,
beat.
Tyson. Do it all yourself. Let's go.
Start us off, baby.
Strike pitched by Tyson. Here comes the second pitch. Short bunt, picked up, and extraordinarily close play, spectacular play by OSC's catcher, DJ, picking up the ball, firing a diving catch, getting into Brent's hands fractions of a second before Shockwave kicker's foot comes down on the bag. It's a good play, it was the right call, but again, it's, you know, very fast play.
All right, 2 down, Green.
2 outs. Tyson and OSC doing a little bit of discussion before pitching to the 3rd kicker of the bottom of the 4th inning. Here comes the pitch from Tyson.
Strike 2!
Just catches the inside corner on the left side for strike 2. No balls, no fouls. And here comes the 3rd pitch from 1 bounce coming across. One ball, 2 strikes, no fouls. Bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the pitch from Tyson. Little shin bunt. Called safe, makes the turn, slides, and is tagged, going to second. That was a hell of a turn. But Morrison, wise enough to chase the runner down. So, coming into the top of the 5th inning. Top of the 5th inning, I believe. Well, this is it. This is OSC's last chance to put some runs on the board. The Shockwave is the home team. Shockwave theoretically 3 outs away from winning Founders Cup in their very first appearance at Founders Cup. First pitch from Tremaine, called strike to Morrison. Second pitch. Inside corner, catches the plate, 2 strikes. No balls, no fouls. Top of the 5th inning. Shockwave up 2-0. Tremaine. Strong bunt picked up, fired to one. Not in time. Morrison had a hell of a toss, or a hell of a run on that. It's a good bunt, good speed. A notable amount of speed for a first baseman.
Hey, good kicker.
Been doing it for like 20 years.
Big leg up for OSC. No outs in the top of the 5th inning. Morrison on first. Here comes the pitch from Tremaine.
Go defense!
Speeds across. Tremaine with his, one of his, well, you're not going to call it a signature pitch because the guy's got quite a few different looks that he throws rather well. But catching the inside, the pitch that you see rather often. Foul ball.
Hey, this wasn't a closure. So he was pretty close on that too.
Tremaine doing a bit of shuffling, moving around his defensive players. Seems satisfied with what he's got.
Push it out, Emily.
Looks the runner back, which is not something that you can really do in kickball, as you can't lead off or steal bases. Second foul. Picked up in the box.
Way to come out hot.
We've got 1 strike, 2 fouls, no balls.
Ever push it a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
In this top of the 5th inning. Pitch from Tremaine. Lays down a bunt. Picked up by JJ. Fires it, gets the out at 1. Called out at 1. Called out at 1. Argue discussion. Time is called. Seems to be some question of possession for the person at first base, but both first base and home plate Andy Bueller, call possession, call the out.
Andy, what? Tremaine, 1 out!
1 out in the top of the 5th. Morrison getting all the way around to third base on that play.
We need out!
Here comes the pitch. Popped up into a dead zone. Plating Morrison for OSC. And putting a base runner on for OSC on first. So OSC finally getting on the board in the top of the 5th inning.
Let's go!
And here comes the 0-0-0 pitch. That's a first strike go by. Here's Tremaine with the second pitch. Just catches the inside corner. Called strike 2. Here comes Tremaine with the pitch. And that is it. That is it. Tremaine throws a 2-strike pitch, popped back to Tremaine. He cuts across the field to pick it up and fires the ball back to first base for the double play, 3rd out. Ladies and gentlemen, Shockwave is your 2014 Founders Cup Championship team. They're made a hell of a lot of noise in the circuit over the past couple of years, particularly this year. Their first appearance at Founders Cup for Waukee in Las Vegas, qualifying through a regional tournament, a rematch of, I believe, a grudge match on one of the East Coast regionals. I can't remember exactly which one. And this time, Shockwave walks away with the win. 2 runs to OSC's 1. That's Founders Cup 2014. I gotta pee. Later.